No.
Wow, we got
Well,
it.
of course,
That's how
please,
stupid you sound,
No,
Avery.
no. We know you believe that Jesus said other things. We're saying, according to this passage, would the person who is saying these things, saying that he does whatever the Father does, someone who says that he's the one who raises the dead at the resurrection, someone who says you have to honor him the same way you honor the Father, or he says that he is the final judge of all mankind, would a person who said these things in this passage be a Muslim but not a believer?
This Lord that I defined is the Lord of Abraham. And anyone who submits to this Lord of Abraham, and despite what associations they have with it or they attach to him, however they're viewing him in a certain perspective, that is changing their theology. Yes, you are right. You and David, if you are submitting to the Lord of the skies and the earth, created this world, you by definition is a Muslim. You conceded.
You're saying that your definition of Muslims as people who submit to God, that Avery and I would be Muslims, Sunnis, Shias, Sufis, these would all be Muslims and that they are submitting to God, but you would believe they're misguided in certain ways, but they would all be Muslims, right?
They're Muslims, but they're not believers.
Do you say that we are Muslims but not believers?
You're a Muslim, you're not believers. You have concepts of shirk. God never refers to you as mushrikun. God refers to you as people who committing disbelief by the association. But he never called you a mushrik. He's saying, hey, when you're saying God is a one of a third, you're committing disbelief. When you're saying that Jesus is the Son of God, you're committing disbelief. But he never said you are a mushrik.
I think it's interesting. You're a Muslim, I'm a Muslim, we're all Muslims. It's a Muslim party here. I still want to examine this. So you said, for those who say that Jesus is the Son of God, that we're disbelievers for saying that, but we're still Muslims. So my question is, according to the verses that you quoted, is Jesus, he's a Muslim, but he's a disbeliever? I'm talking about the verses you quoted to prove to us in our Bible that Jesus is a Muslim. So I'm not talking about what you think is corrupted. I'm talking the parts that you quoted as if they're not corrupted. So
then you're talking to Shaiba. I quoted only two verses, 530 and 22:21.
Exactly. And you said out of your mouth, I heard you, it's recorded in your verses, you read that Jesus submits his will to the Father as he hears, he judges, and he submits his will to the Father. So Jesus in John chapter 5 says he's the Son of God. He submits to his Father. I'm going to ask again. So according to the verses you quoted, is Jesus a Muslim but a disbeliever?
530. Jesus has said he submitted his will. People saying that he's the begotten Son of God, that is something that Jesus did not say.
So he's not saying what you believe or what Islam teaches. Avery is asking, since you quoted John chapter 5, verse 30, and that's where Jesus says that everything that the Father does, he does, and that you have to honor a son the same way you honor the Father. Avery is asking, is Jesus in this passage, even if you believe it's corrupt, but is he in this passage a Muslim but not a believer? Because he's saying that he's the son and you have to honor him the same way.
But Dave, Dave, the John chapter 5 verse 30 doesn't say what you just said. That's not the verse we used. So what point are you making from?
Didn't Muhammad say he brought up John 5:30?
Yeah, no, I brought John 5:30.
No, both of you did. Both of you did.
But it doesn't say anything about.
It doesn't say what you are saying. It doesn't say what you, David, is saying.
Yeah, we're talking about the rest of the passage. We know you believe that Jesus said other things. We're saying, according to this passage, would the person who is saying these things, saying that he does whatever the Father does, someone who says that he's the one who raises the dead at the resurrection, someone who says that you have to honor him the same way you honor the Father, where he says that he is the final judge of all mankind, would a person who said these things in this passage be a Muslim but not a believer?
2 points. One, that I'll bring you back to an earlier debate where we had. I told you Jesus can't.
It's very simple. What David asked you and what I asked you. It's super simple.
He's not a Muslim.
Thank you.
Whoa, beautiful. Jesus in John chapter 5 is not a Muslim, but you quote John chapter 5 to show that Jesus is a Muslim.
David, understand the context. Wait, Mohammed. Don't twist the issues here.
Don't twist it, David.
We're not the one twisting.
Yeah. No.
Don't you twist it.
No, don't interrupt.
I'll try not to.
You are playing the semantics here. Look, John chapter 5, verse 30, passage we quoted. If you have to base it on exactly the context we quoted, it says, I can of myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge. So it means he is doing the will of the Father. This is what we quoted as the reference.
Shoaib, is Allah a father? Yes or no?
He's not a father.
Thank you. So if someone is claiming that Allah is their father, then they're not a Muslim, correct?
You have to understand the perspective on how he's using the word father.
It doesn't matter.
Father, is it biological? Wait. Clarify the point first.
Okay,
biological father,
is very
spiritual father.
No, please. Let me just ask it. Is Allah the father in any sense?
No.
Figuratively, allegorically, any sense?
No, he's not.
No.
He's not.
Thank you. So it doesn't
I have a
matter.
question.
Both of you just said that Allah is not a father in any sense. So it doesn't matter in what sense Jesus claims to be the son, whether it's begotten, whether it's allegorical. In any sense, if you claim to be the son of Allah, you're not a Muslim. You guys just cooked yourselves, man.
Shuaib, no, we didn't. This is how retarded you sound.
We are good chefs. Yeah, don't cook ourselves.
Brother, Shuaib is the person that's mentioned in John in its entirety. Was that Jesus speaking?
No, he's not.
Hey, ooh, we win. Wow, we got it.
Of course. they know that. They know that. They are trying
That's
to
how
create semantics.
stupid you sound, Avery.
No.
The person that is completely in the John that you're quoting, that is not Jesus completely speaking. The person that is saying that he's the son of a God or that he is equal with the Father, that is nothing from Jesus. And we're here to tell you that if you have submitted to the Lord of the world, the skies and the earth, you are saying complete blasphemy to put someone as weak as a human, as an equal to who created you and who can destroy you, who saved Jesus from the cross. You understand that?
In response to our discussion of John 5:30, Shoaib pointed out, he went to John 20, where Jesus says, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. So notice, even the verse itself, you guys both agreed would not be Islamic, and yet you're quoting it to defend your point that Jesus was a Muslim. But it's even crazier if you keep reading.
No.
No. Yes, I'll read whatever I want. In verse 22, same passage, a couple verses later, it says Jesus breathed on them and said, receive the Holy Spirit. Oh my goodness, that ties in with the last debate. But then just a few verses after that, a week later, his disciples were in the house again, and Thomas was with them. Though the doors were locked, Jesus came in and stood among them and said, peace be with you. Then he said to Thomas, put your finger here, see my hands, reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting, Shoaib and Muhammad, and believe. Thomas said to him, my Lord and my God. Then Jesus said to him, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Our point is that you keep quoting passages to show that Jesus is a Muslim. And if you simply keep reading, there's no way he's a Muslim. So you're saying, but the one verse that we agree with, that's the real Jesus. But the rest of it, which completely contradicts Islam, no, that's all made up. That's not Jesus. Notice passage after passage you quote, and
Aaron,
literally all you have to do is read before it or after it, and it shows that Jesus
David,
can't possibly be Muslim,
ridiculous.
according to you.
Notice how, my man, and Muhammad, this is for you too, for both of you guys. Notice how we never quoted a single passage or talked about a single passage that you didn't quote yourself. We're only using the context of the passage that you use. That's it. If you're trying to say that we're taking your words out of context, bro.
Dave said I quoted. He said,
like you might as well just not say anything. How about this? Don't quote the Bible anymore. Just give up on the Bible. Just admit that according to the Bible, Jesus is not a Muslim, and try to use something else to prove it. Because you can't. According to the Bible and the passages you guys go to, you've already admitted Allah's not a father. A Muslim can't call Allah a father and be a Muslim. Jesus says that he's the son of God, and so therefore he can't be a Muslim, according to the passages y'all quote. So stop quoting the Bible. Try to use something else to prove that he's a Muslim.
I think you need to understand something. We're not talking about the other nonsense. Now, here's the thing. God logic, Mr. Avery. So can you please now tell me that David is the son of God?
David is the son of God, which proves that he's not a Muslim.
So it's not a Trinity.
So now watch
not a
this.
Trinity.
But hold on.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it at all. But the audience gets it. Let me show you, Muhammad, how silly your procedure is here. You only want to stick.
Yes or no? Is David a son of God?
Relax.
Oh my
please.
goodness.
Relax.
Say it.
We let you talk.
Yeah, we let you talk.
Well, I just want. It's
Oh my goodness. He's going to let him break it down.
Yeah.
This
is it yes or no? Is David a son of God?
David is a son of God. Yes.
Thank you for your
and we're about to clarify things for you.
Yes.
And they're all contradicting Islam.
All of them.
Go ahead, Avery.
So look, David is a son of God.
No, we're not.
David is a son of God, which means David is not a Muslim. That's in the Psalms that your Quran says that is from God, that he wrote himself. chapter 21, verse 5 of the Quran, Allah says in the Quran that he's the one who wrote the Psalms for David. So Allah is the one writing that David is his son. Astaghfirullah. Look, your whole procedure is let's forget all the surrounding verses, only stick to the verses that we mentioned, Avery and David. Okay, let's do that. You quoted John 5:30. It simply says this, ladies and gentlemen, I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of him who sent me, period. Muhammad, who's speaking here?
This is Jesus.
How do you know that?
Speaking.
How do you know?
The submitter.
Show me in the verse where it says Jesus is speaking.
This is not a gospel about Jesus?
Well, wait, show me where it's about gospel about Jesus.
Is this a gospel about Jesus?
Avery is pointing. Avery is pointing out that this is a passage. This is a passage. You're going to the last verse of a passage. How do you know that verse is even Jesus? Because of the passage, but the passage completely contradicts Muhammad and the Quran.